in the prisons, that's one of the conversations that we have with our incarcerated fathers, is that when you came in here, you had that title of father. You're not stripped of that title. You did not give that title up, but it's up to you to sort of determine what it is that you're going to do. I call that geography. So if you were deployed overseas, if you were in the military, you're not physically there, but you still have that title of father. So can you tell me what it is that you did while you were incarcerated to keep your title?
Right. So when I founded the Starts Within organization, Starts Within says it starts within. That means it starts within you, it starts within your current situation. So at 19 years old, I said that, you know what, I'm about to attack the mentality that has gotten me incarcerated. So then that's where I went to as far as solving my problem of incarceration. I said that, man, this mentality that I was rocking with is not a mentality that I'm going to be able to use to raise my son, because this is going to continue to separate me from my son or get me killed. This is so with understanding that, what I had to do is I had to start to just work on myself. I started to develop myself. I got into scripture first. I didn't get raised in scripture at all. So I got into scripture along with Bible study and TD Jakes every Thursday, Potter House. I just got busy. I just allowed that scripture to saturate my mind, and I started to develop a new way of thinking. I started to believe in myself and who I was, the contribution that I have to make to society, but also to my son. Now, my son was the main reason why I went out there to get new information, because I understood that the information that I had was bogus, and it was circulating around in my community. And that's why I first went to scripture, to be able to start to develop a new way of thinking, so I can make some new decisions and just get new results. And after that, I got into college, and I graduated from Marion Technical College from business management with a 3.83 GPA.
Yes. Woo! Yes.
And then I got into administrative office technology, and I learned the computers as well. So I got into that with vocational training, and I graduated from that. I learned some Spanish as well while I was incarcerated, right? Because I was just trying to develop this individual that was going to be responsible enough to be able to lead my son in the right way. And I knew that I could not lead my son in the right way if I wasn't leading myself in the right way. So I said that, hold up, I done led myself in a place where I am getting counted 6 times a day, in a place where these conditions is adverse. It is no way that I can be responsible enough to be able to lead my son in the right way. So then that's why I just attacked that mentality by getting new information so I can successfully lead my son. And then after I got that information, right, that's when I started to really just interacting with my son. So we was able to get free state letters that they would allow us to send home every week. So then they would provide you envelopes and stamps, and you can send that free state letter home every week. I utilized those state letters to write my son once a week. So I said that, you know, while I'm inside, and I did this for my whole entire 10 years. That means that all the way from 3 months old till he was 10 years old, I wrote him a letter once a week. Right, because I said that I know that I'm still dad, and nobody can take away me being a father. I have to literally give it away. And I just wasn't willing to give it away. I just said that, man, I just got a strong desire. I just wasn't willing to give it away, you know. So, and because of that desire, something that's been operating in my mind recently, and it's heavy. It's just that the desire. It says that God gives us our desires, and I really truly believe that. I'm talking about He gives us what to desire. Not saying that I desire a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, but He gives us what to desire. He placed the desires in our heart, and then we chase those desires, right? So He's given me a desire to be a father. He placed that in my heart, and because He's given me that desire, when I was incarcerated, I just looked at different ways to be that best effective father that I can possibly be, so then my son wouldn't grow up and become an adult who was incarcerated. So when I was incarcerated, I said, man, I gotta do something about it.
Right, absolutely.
And that's where the letters came into place, staying in contact. Halloween just passed. For trick or treat, what I used to do is I used to send candy home. for trick or treat. So I would go to the commissary, and people who don't know what the commissary is like the store,
Yeah.
right? Where
Like
you
the
can
corner
get
store,
treats.
yeah.
It's the corner
Corner store.
It's the corner store. The stuff is expensive too.
Yeah.
It's the corner store, right? So I would get money in once a week from my father, because my father was still present during my 10-year in prison, since he was still supportive, and he would bring my son up to visit me while I was incarcerated as well throughout the time. So he would send me $20 in a week, and I would take one of those weeks out of the month, and I would just take that $20 and I would go get $20 worth of candy, and I would use $15 worth of candy, and I would use $5 to mail it home. And I would just sacrifice my noodles and
Yes.
and my coffee.
Your
and
ramen, your ramen noodles.
Yeah,
okay.
all of the zoom zooms and wham whams,
Yams.
right? So I sacrificed all
Right.
of the zoom zooms and wham whams because I said that I had to go ahead and offer my son this sacrifice, because that's what was going to build on the strong, positive relationship that I knew that I had to have with my son.
Absolutely.